There's way too much childishness around our faith. I don't have to go very far into that. It doesn't take very long for us to understand it. Too selfish, too carnal. We want our way. I mean, we laugh a bit about the simple expressions of that around church. We want to sit where we want to sit and park where we want to park and come when we want to attend. We get really sideways if we can't. And why can't I bring coffee into this room? Stop. It's the house of the Lord. 1 Peter 2 and verse 2, like newborn babies, crave pure spiritual milk, so that by it you may grow up in your salvation, now that you've tasted that the Lord is good. Crave, that's a strong word. Crave pure spiritual milk. I don't know that we have a craving for the things of God, the Word of God. We have a tolerance for it. It's okay with us. I mean, can you fit it into the timeline? But crave it, and he said, so that we can grow up. We got to grow up in the Lord, folks. The language that we use is troubling to me. We go, well, you know, that's just not how my people are. Or the church I went to, you know, we didn't talk about that. You got a Bible? Get it out. If you're sitting in a church that's denying the Bible, you need a new one. You see, I don't believe that's going to be inadequate when we see the Lord and he said, well, you know, I wrote an assignment for you. I had something for you to do. And we'll say, oh, well, the church I went to. We even read that part. You think the Lord's going to say, well, in that case, come right in. We have to grow up in the Lord. Say, well, I've grown a lot. I know, me too. I'm still working on it. Ephesians 4, verse 14, there will no longer be infants tossed back and forth by the waves and blown here and there by every wind of teaching and the cunning and craftiness of men and their deceitful scheming. You know, deceitful scheming is a part of being the people of faith. The enemy schemes against you. If he can't convince you to deny your faith and to participate in ungodliness, he'll just do his best to deceive you, to manipulate you, to limit you, to hinder you, to impede you, to discourage you, to disrupt you. Don't welcome discouragement. Don't tolerate it. So I have reasons to be discouraged. You may, but don't accept them. I have reasons to be tired. Okay. But we also have a resource to help renew us and refresh us. Don't yield to that. There's a battle raging in the earth. There is a battle raging. We've got to decide. Instead, speaking the truth in love, we will in all things grow up into him who is the head, that is Christ. In every aspect of our life, we've got to grow up in him. How we use our time, how we use our treasure, what we think about, what we imagine for recreation. In every way, we have to grow up. What part of your life are you reluctant to invite the Lord into? And I don't mean you've banned him from it, but you don't want to really consider a godly response because it's what you want to do. Say, look, I'm born again. I'm not committing gross sins. I just want to do this. Well, I don't think it's evil, but I think it can limit God's call on your life. You will forfeit. And I would ask you not to do that. In all things, let's grow up in him. I think we have to acknowledge that age, chronological age, does not equal spiritual maturity. I think the real criteria for that is the willingness to accept responsibility in spiritual things. I have found that the Spirit of God will give you an opportunity to mature and give you mature assignments if you'll accept responsibility. That requires two things, in my thinking: intent, the willingness, the intentionality around it, and the sacrifice. If you're willing to do that, God will give you mature assignments that aren't connected to your age. See King David. See King Josiah. See the disciples that you know that Jesus recruited. They were teenagers. See Mary and Joseph. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. In fact, it's highly improbable that there's an assignment coming later in your life if you haven't sought the Lord when you were younger. I didn't say you couldn't be a part of the purposes of God. Zechariah and Elizabeth, God met them in a senior season of their life, but he was responding to prayers they had been praying for decades. There were parts of the promise God made to Abraham that weren't fulfilled until he was an old man, but Abraham responded to God when he was a young man. Whatever responses to God you've made early in your life, get those back out, build upon those, revisit them, recapture the zeal of that. If you're a young person and you've got an awareness of God, thank Him for that. I understand there's temptations. There's a learning curve that comes with maturing. Whether it's physically, whether it's in academics, whether it's spiritually, there's a learning curve. And I'm going to borrow the one that we watch most often. When I watch parents with their children, it seems like there's an enormous amount of energy that begins in helping their kids be polite, because when you take them out in public, you don't want little hellions. You know, I interact with the kids at church quite a bit, and sometimes I feel badly for it, because I'll get down on a knee and say, "Hi, you know, I'm Pastor Allen. What's your name?" And the kids freeze. 9 out of 10. Understand, some of them go hide behind their parents. And then their parents start rehearsing what they've been coaching them on. You know, if it's a little fellow and he's old enough, you know, and I shake his hand, look him in the eye, you know, and tell him your name. And I'm, oh, geez, I put the poor child on, like, you know, it's like the bright, hot lights have been turned on them, and kind of they recite what mom and dad have been drilling into them. Or you give them something, say thank you. Well, this notion of being polite, you know, what I hear the parents coach on the most, what I remember the most is please and thank you. You know, okay, I want a drink of water. Well, how do you say that? I want a drink of water. I wasn't the brightest bulb in the box. Can you not say please? Well, apparently not, which was the wrong answer, but it's. And then after, you know, you've gotten your glass, what do you say? I don't want any more water. I don't know. I mean, it just wasn't intuitive to me. You say thank you. All right, anybody here coach anybody on saying, anybody ever here get coached up on saying please and thank you? Well, I did a little work on that, because I have such memories. I have marks around all of that. The word please in the usage we're talking about is an adverb. And the dictionary says it's a function word used to express politeness. And I thought, wow. It seemed more important than that in my life. Then I lived with it a bit, and I thought, you know, being polite has really emerged into something that is almost ridiculed. It seems to me, maybe it's my perception, but that to make an effort in being polite is almost like an expression of weakness. And I don't accept that. So I worked on it a little more. I don't think being polite is highly valued any longer. Or we're told it's insincere. Well, then change your attitude. But I would submit to you that politeness is important. It builds trust, it strengthens relationships, it improves communication, personally and professionally. It fosters a positive environment, it reduces conflict, it enhances self-confidence. It does a lot of things. I found some insights that were pretty interesting. There are personal and social benefits to being polite. It builds better relationships by showing respect and consideration for others. Gee, wouldn't that be nice? I was on a flight recently that was delayed more than an hour after we had already been delayed about 14 hours. And we reboard the plane, it's time to take off, and we wait more than an hour because 2 people are fighting. The captain has to come from the cockpit. We have become so coarse, we can barely travel in public together any longer. Politeness enhances your self-image. Just practicing good manners can boost your self-confidence and help you grow. So, well, who defined good manners? Well, not you. Please and thank you did not start with me. It got imprinted on my little self. Being polite reduces stress. It minimizes conflicts and confrontations, which contribute to your well-being. You don't have to be confrontational all the time. It makes society better. We said we're trying to shape culture. We don't always just shape it by preaching. Sometimes we shape it by being polite. Thank you. Please. Amen. See, this is within your repertoire. If we intend it, etiquette and politeness are essential for community well-being. They promote civility. They build a shared sense of unity and cooperation. And this isn't just the South. I know it can be insincere, but it doesn't mean you have to be. We've introduced a whole language around mission opportunity with Let's Pray that really extends from listening to people with a genuine concern for who they are. I would submit to you it's being spiritually polite. You care about the spiritual condition of the people around you. It isn't just you. It isn't just your family. Professional benefits from being polite. It fosters cooperation. It's crucial for teamwork, for building trust, for promoting cooperation amongst colleagues. I'm tired of liars. I'm tired of deceivers and people obsessed with selfish motivation. And they go, well, you would know. It improves our communication with one another. It prevents misunderstandings. It allows for greater respect and constructive dialogue. It creates opportunities. Being polite can make a better first impression, which really does matter. It'll increase your influence. People are far more likely to listen to your ideas and take you seriously if you're polite. So how do you practice this? Well, it's not complicated. You show appreciation. Thank you can have a very significant impact on people. Use respectful language. Choose your words and your tone of voice carefully, especially when you don't agree. Don't make people feel small. That's the cheapest possible way to make yourself feel larger. Be mindful of others. Politeness really involves being aware of how others feel and giving some consideration to their feelings. Now, it doesn't mean you have to yield to everybody else's feelings. You're not giving up your own self, but you listen and you care about others. Please. This isn't just a word for children. It really isn't. Matthew 26:39. This is Jesus in Gethsemane. He goes further. He falls with his face to the ground, and he said, Father, if it's possible, may this cup be taken from me. I don't want to do this. It's not implicit in the language, but very much implied is please. God won't always say, well, since you said please. Jesus said, not my will be done, but your will. But to the degree that I get to vote, I would rather not do that. He didn't say, I'm not doing this. Stupid idea. Cross is dumb. See, polite isn't passive. We think polite means capitulate. I think something very different. When I'm kind to someone who's unkind, I'm not capitulating. I'm making a declaration that I'm going to overcome that evil with good.
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel. You know the drill. Hit the bell for notifications. If you want to, leave a comment.